What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Benny and Bjorn and their concept album, which I guess later became a musical, Chess. Once again, thank you to Robert and to all those who commented on the first reaction and provided some clarification. But the next track is Press Conference. So that is certainly a media event when a figure, be it an artist or a person from a variety of fields, meaning it could be an athlete, it could be a politician, it could be a social or cultural figure, someone who holds authority, someone who holds a degree of interest, someone who provides entertainment. But yes, given the concept of chess, I wonder whether it might be someone from that world and or related to a competition of wits and skill. Either way, it suggests a visual scene and perhaps the dynamic of interaction, but of course in a musical context I don't quite know what to expect, never mind the larger concept album that is at play, so I'll just see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Benny and Bjorn from ABBA. The tune is Press Conference and it's from their 1984 release, Chess.
Ladies and gentlemen, the chess champion of the world.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Did you make the whole match breaking down?
I don't know what you're saying. What do you imply?
Your outrageous demands are cosine.
I don't see anything outrageous in demanding what I want.
You all that you ask for, then you demand even more.
Any champion is entitled to as much as he can get, any way he wants to get it.
Cause your opponent deserves such abuse.
All Soviets deserve abuse.
And even you must concede he can play.
He is the best red on the circuit, sure, I'll give him that, but... Listen, if he gets one game off me, it's because I want to keep the pressing chess going.
What we reported, why so disparaging, not very sporting.
Are the communists sporting? My God.
United Nations, are you an answer to East-West relations?
What is this? What have the Russians done for East-West relations? Have you guys got any intelligent questions? Rather cold and dull. I mean, what do you expect?
You'd rather have played Leningrad.
Leningrad was an insulting Soviet suggestion.
They tried to be friendly, they would have played in New York.
Oh, come on, cut the crap. You know as well as I do, it was another setup.
How come you're seconds a girl,
At least I'm
boy?
up front. I say what I think. What did you say then?
How come you're seconds a girl, out boy?
I don't know what you're getting at. You don't.
I think the waitress is going, never like you back at home.
Are all you guys reds? Listen, if I do lose...
Too much. We see your Goya. Big noise to hide your fears. Your paranoia.
I'm not paranoid. They out to get me.
This to the United Nations. Are you an answer to East-West relations? Give us a break. What do you want? It's only a game for goodness sake. Only a game for goodness sake. So give us a break. What do you want?
mad. You're playing a lunatic.
That's the problem. He's a brilliant lunatic. You can't tell which way he'll jump. Like his game, he's impossible to analyze. You can't dissect him, predict him, which of course means he's not a lunatic at all.
What we've just seen's a pathetic display from a man who's beginning to crack.
How does one even process, much less analyze or fully appreciate what I've just heard on a first listen? Meaning this is the kind of track that in my own musical experiences in history I would just immediately play back. So I'm not going to play it twice because that would be not really the essence of the way I do these reactions, but holy smoke. So it definitely has a stage musical type of dynamic and sound, and yet there's so many great vocal and instrumental ingredients in what we've heard. Definitely geopolitical metaphor, but also direct narrative elements, meaning it sounds like we're talking about a press conference conducted by a press aggregation who are asking questions very rapid fire and melodically and rhythmically of an American seemingly chess player. And of course there are famous examples of chess matches between those from the West and those from the Soviet bloc, but it feels like there's a bit of irony in that the phrases being replied in more spoken word type of delivery by this, I think, American are caustic and critical and almost incredulous as to the nature of some of the questions from the press assembled. And yet the implications or the wider context sounds like there's a more mixed explanation of the geopolitical situation in '84 than the answers themselves, meaning some of the questions seem well phrased to suggest that there's an irony, a hypocrisy especially from the American giving this answer about, of course we couldn't have it in Leningrad, that to even ask that as a sort of, like, are you all Reds? Even though there's maybe a suggestion that, like, well, why should it have to take place in a Western city like New York? And the suggestion that, daring to ask a question means that you must be, swayed by communist propaganda. And, what has Russia ever done for East-West relations? It feels like there's a cleverness and a critique inherent in some of the lines, even if the replies being given are perhaps what people from a more, let's say, combative pro-Western point of view would have been saying. And of course, chess could speak to the very idea of the Cold War as this cold and calculated war that was not a hot war, not missiles flying, at least only through proxy, not directly, but the idea of this very strategic, guarded, and still very aggressive form of posturing. So it feels like there's maybe a multi-level expression of the geopolitical dynamic of the time in the Cold War specifically, but as expressed through people who are playing fundamentally a game, which of course is part of some of the themes that come out. Like, don't you know this is just a game? Like, why do you take yourself so seriously? Why do you consider yourself so triumphant? And I don't even know actually what the outcome of the chess match in question was, but I think it's very cleverly written. I love it's very melodic, not recitative, but it feels like some of the lines are said so rapid fire that it's almost like very fast talking when it comes to the questions being asked, as well as more formal spoken word type of replies from the person whose press conference it is, in terms of who's the star of the show here. So yeah, I'd have to unpack it again. I'll have to re-listen. I obviously look forward to seeing the comments that people write about this one, and of course I wonder who the particular performers were. But yeah, I'm even more than before, looking forward to this album. I do want to note the dynamic, energetic synth bass that seemed to be in play, and some electronic elements that, again, this is 84. I listened to a lot of synth pop and electronic sounding groups who were well and truly into their discography by this point, but knowing that some of the ABBA catalog before 1980 was already using electronic sounds and keyboards in a way that I think was very forward-looking and avant-garde, hearing that element in particular was very enjoyable. So once again, shout out to Robert. Let me know what you think of this. I will see you next time. Peace.